Welcome. It's a pretty exciting day, and you may have been experiencing this in a whole lot of ways, and it may not have felt very exciting because we're really amid a lot of flux. We're amid a lot of intrusion into our field. We're in a lot of intrusion as the electromagnetic field of the earth, but it is all for good. And I notice that there's a few things going on which are, in my view, fear-mongering. So everything for me points to that we are amid ascension as a group, or as individuals, as a group, as a collective, as a planet. So where on that spiral we all are, I don't actually know, but we are amid ascension. So all the fear-mongering, let that be someone else's story. It's not ours. So welcome everybody. Welcome to, well, happy Mother's Day for a start. Because really you could say it's Mother's Day in so many ways. I've been in conversation with Mother Mary today, who some of you will know I have a very close personal connection to and with. So yeah, and I went to look at my notes and I thought, oh my goodness, I can't possibly speak to all of those. So I want to tell you that I won't be speaking about these things today, but these topics are full and current. The energy of the dragons and why the dragons are here and what they are here to do. That's one thing to speak about at another time. The emerald codes, the everything to do with the emerald, from the tablets to the codes to the covenants to our heart spaces. I'll speak about those another time as well. And then the third thing I can't even remember off the top of my head. But right now I want to talk to you about this weekend, this day, this cosmic upgrade that we are in and feeling it in ourselves. So you may have been feeling tired to the extent of being exhausted. You may be feeling that you just want to be drinking a lot of water. You may be feeling that you've got no energy whatsoever. You may have been feeling the pressure of maybe a bit of doom and gloom that is definitely being perpetrated through the news and sits in the collective. But really, it is that we are in celebration of the feminine flow of the divine mother energy and of the feminine energy, irrespective of our gender. So this electromagnetic field, so that's what sits around our earth. It holds us in some way. It holds our planet in its movement in the galaxy. It helps us to stay in some kind of equilibrium, and we as planet and as humans are in expansion, and so some of this is changing. So we're going to be changing our place in the galaxy as a planet. We are being up-leveled in terms of our DNA. We're being upgraded in terms of the light quotient that A, we are receiving from the sun, and B, is being sort of is permeating what often would prevent it from getting to us. So the electromagnetic field sitting in the ionosphere is weakening. And to me, this is the force field that holds the planet. And then it's the same with our energetic field, our biosphere, that's becoming more permeable. And so this ionosphere that is surrounding the planet, they are being saturated with plasma. So the plasma is emitted from the sun. You could kind of see it as somebody throwing bits of cooked tapioca at you. I guess, they could have that appearance. They have they have an energetic, but their appearance is very much like seeing a refracted molecule in the water that's emitting light or reflecting light. You could see it like that. So the word enlivening is a word that Gaia gave a while ago, that we would come into enlivening, and that is every molecule, every particle, every aspect of life, sentient life on the planet. It is having what she is calling enlivening. So it's coming into consciousness. That would be another way of saying it. And so these flares that are coming from the sun, they're saturated with this plasma, this plasmic light that's holding these codes. And that's affecting both our atmosphere and our energetic bodies. And of course, that affects then our physical body. So we're being affected through the energetic, through the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual aspects of self. And they hold what I'm calling the angelic codes. Your original divine plan blueprint angelic codes are held in this plasma light. They are coming in to activate us and activate our DNA back to 12 strands, so that then we can have our chakras activated, well, at least into 12. So there's a lot of this energetic around the 12 strands of DNA and the 12 chakra systems within our physical body. Yeah, so I'll just read this because it has a beauty to it. Like a drop of God essence coming in to enliven and to reactivate you back to 12 strands of DNA, back to a 12 chakra system. So that's really in the physical body. Bringing in the energy of psychic gifts, miracles, and upgrades, which if you have been following my post, you would have seen I wrote about that earlier. And this aurora, I'm sorry, I feel I'm fine, but I feel really emotional saying this to you. Yesterday, I woke up and began to cry, and I didn't know why, but then I realised that it was because my body was letting me know that we are really in the physical of this ascension now. And so I had, got dressed to go to a class that I go to on a Saturday morning, and I was driving my way there, and I thought, hold on a minute, Sharon, just take a good look at yourself here. You're just doing this on autopilot. Stop. So I stopped on the side of the road. It was in my car. And I sat there and I tuned in, and I thought, oh no, what I need to do is take myself to the beach and to sit in the sun. And so that's what I did. Instead of going to exercise class, it was what was honouring of me and my heart and my emotional body and my needs. So yeah, imagine seeing sunlight on the surface of the ocean. That's really how it has looked to me, what we're experiencing. And what Gaia said some time ago to me was that when we started to have these auroras in places where they don't belong, in places where they're never seen, that's an indication that we're in ascension. So that's something that has become obvious, isn't it, over the last couple of days. We've had incredible auroras showing up in various places around the world. I want to tell you about how I read them energetically, those auroras. So to me, I've seen quite a number of them, and really thank you so much to those of you who sent me examples of those from around the world. And we had some here in New Zealand as well. So for me, the pink that has been showing up on one end, that's all about love. So we have been receiving these pink rays of love, of unconditional love. We've been receiving the purple codes, which to me, from the lilac into the purple, they represent both the healing and transformation codes, as well as the lilac, the higher heart codes. the grandmother Anna codes. And then the other aspect is the green, and the green comes in under the auspices of Archangel Raphael, who is actually Mother Mary's divine partner. Yeah, so pink feminine energy, things and aspects for the emotional body, a lot of golden light coming through, being threaded through everything. This higher love and heart expansion. And although we're in the feminine energy, it's coming into everybody. So into the masculine, into the feminine. And this is going to have a big shift in the collective, because it's going to have a big shift impact on the masculine. So we're also shifting from being from this carbon based into crystalline, or something more solid into something slightly more liquid. But the crystalline light is bringing in these 5D codes. We are becoming fifth dimensional. Many of you will already be experiencing what's the word, an amplification of your gifts. So perhaps you're clairvoyant and you're becoming more clairvoyant. Perhaps you've been having a lot going on in your ears as your clear audience is coming online. Things like that. You might be feeling tingling in your extremities. So that could be release, and that could also be activation. We've been having massive upgrades through our central nervous system as well. Yeah, so these were the symptoms I quickly jotted down. Thirst and extreme thirst, extreme tiredness, emotional, anxious. So you may be feeling anxiety in your solar plexus. You may be having moments of anxiety in the pit of your stomach and in your heart area. And I want to tell you, like I did the other night, that to me, it's just this aspect of your body that is unsure, because it hasn't experienced this before. So in a way, you have to be the reassuring aspect in yourself, to yourself. So the wise part of you has a conversation with the part of you that's feeling a little bit wobbly, and you just say, I think we're going to be all right here. You know, we're just going through something that we haven't been through before, but we don't need to panic about it. It's all going to be fine. You might have been, this tingling in the fingers, the hands, the toes, the feet. You may have been having heart palpitations. You may have been feeling extreme cold or extreme heat. You may have been having a fuzzy head, and you may be feeling an overwhelm. So there's all of that going on, and don't ignore it, but just sit with it. Just check in if it feels extreme, if it feels strong and it bothers you, then go and get it medically checked. Please do that. Don't just accept that it's all Ascension if things are happening to you and you're not sure of them. If you tune into yourself, you'll probably get some wise counsel around that. You know, if you ask, okay, so you can tap on your thymus, you can put your hand on your heart, you can ask, you know, is this something that I need to go and take some further action on? And just ask your body, ask your heart to give you an answer. So I want to say that everything is coming to the 0 point. It's unbelievable. When I started to read through the notes that I've made, and I went into overwhelm, because I thought, there's no way I can do a live and attend to all of that. So I'm just attending to what's going on now. So we are here, if you like, we're in the mother principles, we're in the mother arc energies. They are being highlighted, activated. All of this is happening internal of the planet as well as internal of us. We are having systems collapse. That is obvious, isn't it? So there's a lot of that going on, and you will probably remember that Gaia spoke about how we would see that these system collapses now, and that it would be in the area of all of the things that are associated to economics, to government, and to health. So there's a lot coming out about what happened through the years of COVID. There's some interesting things happening on the politics, or on the yeah, on the political stage in that arena in both Europe and the US. I just suddenly just had this huge wave of heat come over me. Sorry, it was massive. Um, with the matrix is dissolving, that would be the simple way of saying it. And it's not like everything's going to fall over at once, but we are definitely in this movement of observing the collapse of things. And I can tell you that it's my understanding that there are already new systems set in place that are ready to replace those as they go. And that there is no reason for us to worry. Our thing, really, our place is to be sitting in our hearts, to be in peace, to be connected to nature so we can have the benefits of being grounded through nature, and to be centered and to be in compassion, because a lot of people are going to be very wobbly and they may get angry because they'll be feeling insecure. And so just be aware of that. And I know I've spoken about that before in the last couple of videos. I've always been shown by Gaia that that was going to be perhaps the most challenging thing for the awakened people, is to watch those who aren't awake be confronted with things that they have been denying all this time. So just remember to sit in the place of being the compassionate holder of space, be the teacher that responds to the queries, not the instructor. And be, I think it's like sit deeply in. I don't have to tell everybody. Sit deeply in. Everybody has programmed this in through their own soul contract as to how they will awaken, as to what their means of awakening is, as well as the timing of it. So you can certainly respond to queries, but just know that that's all sorted by people's own soul contracts. So we're going to watch, it's funny, I wrote time collapsing. So I have spoken to people in the last few days who've been experiencing time jumps, and I have as well. So all of a sudden there's either a big expansion, or there's something incongruent, or there's something that blips out. So I noticed that the birds stopped singing. I noticed that maybe a couple of days ago in my garden. All of a sudden, no birds. No birds moving, no birds sounding. Very unusual in my garden. In fact, I don't think it's ever happened before. Although I want to say that it might have happened one other time when I recognised it as a similar thing. And then someone else that I was with, I did amazing. I was invited to do a ceremony with a group of amazing people last night, and one of them had noticed that with the insects, that all of a sudden there was a space or a period of time where none of the insects were making sounds. To me, these are indications of time jumps, or a movement through, or a dimensional shift. Yeah, so uncertainty, wobble, anxiety. We'll be witnessing, observing a lot of that. Just be like the first aider, really. And we remember that Gaia spoke about that whole idea that we would be in a time, and we're in it now, where the molecular structure of a lie would not be able to be held together. So this is what we are in the witness of. We are, in a way, we're in the 0 point in terms of we are descending. We are descending into our hearts, into our soul space, home to ourselves. That's one way of coming into the 0 point. We are ascending into the higher, into the fifth dimension in preparation for the higher than that. That's another way that we could talk about coming into the 0 point, everything aligning to that. We are coming into the 0 point in terms of the revealing of what's been hidden, what's been false, and what's been shown as lies. And we are coming into the 0 point in terms of a reset. So those things very much are here with us, excuse me, present and no, I didn't bring my water in, present right now with us. And then on top of that, we're in this Mother's Day energy. So I wrote in here, Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Let us all anchor in the mother energy, the divine feminine, the mother principles, the incredible creative capacity to create the new, to be able to raise the children. These are the principles of the mother. To allow the heart to speak, to feel, and to lead for the heart and from the heart space. So I just invite you to drop into that space with everything that's going on at the moment, to be sitting in your heart space for that. And then Mother Mary, she came through and she said, can each of you please envisage that you are holding a baby that's just a few weeks old in your arms, swaddled, and she or he is swaddled in a very safe place, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and energetically by you. And now envisage that that baby is also you. Love yourself. Be honoring of you. Hold and keep yourself safe and nurtured. There is in that the greatest contribution that you can make to humanity on this day. Yeah, and I wanted to tell you about that word that came. So when I was in this sacred space, I'll just speak to this, which I have already written as well, about ascension being here, that the opportunity to ascend is in your hands. And these are simple measures to be focused on your internal self rather than on the external. So you focus on what's going on internal of you, so that reflects to the external of you. This vibrational effect, this state of your own frequency, your love-based frequency, and to feel your way into alignment. So when you come into balance, alignment, center, and then you notice when you are on a wobble, and then you bring yourself back in. That's the space to sit in. Love in your heart, staying balanced, centered. Breathe and call in your higher aspects. Call in your 5th to 7th dimensional higher aspects to come in, to sit behind you, to come into your body, to be embodied, to be in the spine, to come into the head, to come into the heart, to move in from behind and above, so that you are embodying all of those aspects that are you. This is you in your divinity, bringing more of yourself home to self. So be the light that you are, the divine essence that is you. Be that within. Connect with like-minded others. Connect with nature, with God consciousness, the breath and the essence of Gaia. Be grounded, be well grounded, be very well grounded. This is perhaps the biggest thing that will help us through this time. Align your own internal pillar with that of Gaia in the Taurus, the spiral, the toroidal field. Be joy, be in joy, and be the joy. So we're in this idea really of being in involution and evolution, this turning inside out, this returning to the original divine plan blueprint, this receiving of our angelic codes, this evolving into the higher, the magic and gifts and acceleration coming. Your mighty I am presence. Yeah, and a lot of perhaps focus on the higher heart at the moment energetically. So that's your thyroid area. So you could think about this being your heart and this being your heart, your lower heart, your higher heart, in position, not in rank. But the higher heart holding this higher consciousness, this higher heart being activated more fully with these codes. Yeah, and then this word, I'll find it. This, I'm sitting in meditation and I'm hearing this word. Oh, wait a minute, I'll just find it here. So I was sitting in this group and I kept hearing this word Elysium, and I just noted, okay, Elysium, and then it just wouldn't go away. So if you're like me, you have those situations as well. It's like it comes, I didn't know what it meant, and it just didn't go away. It was sitting there and I could spell it, I could know how it was spelled, but I didn't know what it meant. And so I asked, so I said, okay, higher self, then what does this word mean? And I got shown this incredible golden light, and I got shown that if I was lying, so that's why I put the image with it. If you saw the poster that I made on YouTube, I haven't posted it anywhere else yet, but it was, I got shown, it was this idea that I was lying in this grass, this brown grass, this dried grass, but it had a golden hue to it. And it was like I was seeing through that. And then there was all this sunlight, all this golden light washing through. And so I got told that it was that and that this was the future of our world. So, anyway, at the end of the meditation, we all shared what we'd seen. And so I told everyone. And then I looked it up. And so this is what it means. It means a place or condition of ideal happiness, any place or state of bliss or delight. And synonyms for it are an abode of the blessed, heaven, nirvana, paradise, land of milk and honey, utopia, kingdom, the promised land, seventh heaven, the land of plenty, Eden, and Shangri-La. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because all of those other words I knew, but Elysium I didn't. And that's the word that Spirit gave me. And that's how Spirit works with me sometimes. They give me a word that I have a familiarity with. I can spell it. Somehow I get shown how it's spelt, or I have a knowing of how it's spelt. And then when I go and look it up, it has this perfect alignment. And so that's what I was given last night. And this is us. We are on the edges of this, of shifting into Elysium, into our future world, this blessed, blissed, paradisical, Edenic place, coming in another way, in a novel messaging. Yeah. So there's lots of information coming about the dragons, about the pyramids, and about the emerald. So I will do some specific videos on those things. We are on the edges of something big. How it shows up, I don't know, but I want to remind you that one of the ways that it has shown up to me is that a wave will come through. And so this is in alignment with what is occurring now, these emissions from the sun, this idea that, and forgive me because many of you will have heard this, but probably it's more real and more tangible now. How Guy spoke to me about how what was coming from the sun was tempering our bodies. These emissions from the sun are tempering our bodies, but we're lined up to have several, 3 or 4 coronal mass ejections arriving. So they are emitted from the sun, but these are arriving. They're Earth facing, and so they're likely to impact us. So that's the weather, if you like, the space weather aspect. On top of that, we've got plasma coming, which is carrying the codes that come from the sun. So that's our DNA activation. That's our upgrading of our gifts, our miracles, all of that. We've got this pink light that's about love. That's been coming in. We've got this green light that's about healing. That's been coming in. It's also to do with the heart. We've got this violet light that's been coming in. That's to do with transformation. So we've got a lot of different lights coming in. I also saw a very white crystalline light that's very dense in the center of the earth yesterday or the day before. So that's a very purifying light, and we're having this strong alignment through our spine as well as through the central vertical pillar of the planet. And then we're in this, what I can only describe as the ascension that Gaia has spoken about to me, this idea that we will have an emission from the sun that is so strong that it shifts us dimensionally. And in that dimensional shift, it may send us to sleep. It may be that our bodies need to do that, to receive these higher emissions, these solar flares, these coronal mass ejections, that they may be the things that shift us from being, human here now to a higher developed human, that shift us from being third dimensional to being fifth dimensional, that shift us from having some of our gifts to having a lot more of our gifts, that shift us from having 2 strands of DNA connected to up to, anyway. I mean, we will go a lot higher, but I'm talking about collective shift into 12th dimensional DNA stranding and into 12 physical chakras being activated, being highlighted, being innovated. So we're in a very exciting time, and ultra hydration, and just follow what you are intuited to do, follow what your heart is guiding you to do. We're in unprecedented times, and I am feeling that this is potentially in this next couple of days that we might have this tipping point into this higher dimensional space. All right, I shall have a look at the chat. Hello, Jen. Hello, Carolyn. Oh, lots of changes for you. Yeah, I think that that will be an experience that a lot of people are having. So this is going to impact on changes to do with work, to do with income, to do with location, to do with relationships, to do with housing, to do with this internal kind of readjustment of the recognition of priorities. So all of that is going to have a rippling effect across the various sectors and segments. Hello, Sally. Hi, Ciela. Hello, Aniko. Talofa lava, Caroline. Thank you very much. Kia ora, Starbuck. Carolyn saying DM has gone through big changes. The new beginning has started here. That's good. That's really good information for us to hear. Thank you. So that is what we're just going to see more and more of. We will see it with the men in our world, in our lives, in our work life, in our family life, in our relationships. Yes, the aurora light's supposed to be happening tonight again. I couldn't see them from here, but yeah, that's what I got told as well. Amazing lights. Yeah, so it's fantastic if you are able to see them. I've seen some that I've been sent, and some video as well. Hi, Amanda and Larissa saying, walking on the street, had tears, feeling herself so aware about what is above and her human experience. I feel that. I feel you. Yeah, it's it's because we are moving so strongly into operating from our heart. And so anything that doesn't align with that is coming up to be cleared. And then it's wobbly because it's to a greater level than we've ever done before. 444 now in Canberra. And another unusual fact is in the middle of a boulevard with a huge swarm of bees moving in a circle. I was shocked stepping into the middle of them and slowly went back and nothing happened. The bees are very sensitive to energetics in terms of, they will have known that you didn't wish to harm them. The aurora borealis was seen in Romania. Yes, I did see a shot from there, I think. So the bees and the insects and the birds will be feeling the frequency shift, but they won't have the level of resistance that we might have. Hi, Barrett. Pressure, almost pain in chest the last few days. Hopefully something is released from my heart chakra. You just invite it. Just invite it to, Barrett. Just place your hands on your heart and breathe in and out behind your hand and just speak to your heart. What do you need? And wait for an answer. And then you might want to do a follow-up question with, how can I give that to you? It is exciting times, Jackie. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I feel, Barrett, that's your higher heart. And I feel that if you do that, it will come, it will show you. Feeling like it's happening in this moment in spine and energy. Yeah, I agree, Ciela. Intense, awesome 2 days, magic galore too. Fantastic. Oh yes, and the dragons. So the dragons showing up everywhere. So yeah, we'll just get on a whole new tangent if we start talking about the dragons. But we're in the year of the green dragon in Chinese astrology. The dragons, they hold a lot of creation codes, a lot of creation energy. They were here in early time. Many of us have a connection to the dragons, and that dragon energy is very, I want to say, transmutational. Um, feeling everything, feeling like a massive empath, deeper and deeper. Yeah, so it's your strength, Jen, and it also comes with challenges, doesn't it? Because if you think about the ratio of those of us who are awake and who are empathic and in this sort of sympathetic nervous system alignment with what's going on in our parasympathetic and in our energetic body, it's massive. And so that's why we're being affected, because there's just so much of it that is coming into the outer aspects of our field. So it's why it's important, this grounding, this you know, today when I was doing some grounding, I was saying, let's just send it way, way deep. Let's just have this grounding rod going deep, deep, deep into the earth, way, way down into the center of the earth, just taking this energy and just allow it to be conduited out really easily. So I found that that worked well for me. High heart integration now for the last few hours, yeah, and I feel that that is something that maybe began a couple of days ago. I mean, we've had this kind of this rolling into this, rolling into this, rolling into this, haven't we, since April, really. And some of this began when I started to write some summary earlier today. I thought, oh my God, I can't possibly fit all of that in. But you will remember, and some of you will remember better than me, because I'm in, you know, some other dimensional space when I'm doing this. So I don't necessarily kind of line it up well in the three-dimensional world. But I was remembering how in June of last year, I think, in June of last year, I was at Lake Rotoiti and in bed for 3 days and told that I was holding space for the realignment of the central vertical pillar. Do you remember that? And then remember when I went to Vanuatu in September of last year, I think. It was definitely September, but was it last year or the year before? Anyway, when I went to Vanuatu, that I spent another 3 days where I was in bed and, you know, told to stay there kind of thing. And that was realigning the, you know, so it's like my work with Gaia has come more into the physical in the last however long, year or so. And that was the realignment of the horizontal axis of the earth. There was some that needed to be realigned. And so I was doing that between Vanuatu and the Seychelles, and I didn't even know where the Seychelles were, but when I looked, was this perfect horizontal line from Vanuatu to the Seychelles against the horizontal axis of the planet. So, you know, for me, I guess because of my work with Gaia, I'm having this kind of physical measuring up to what's going on in the planet, and we're definitely, and you know, you'll remember me saying we're coming into the physical with it, and we've never done this before. This idea of ascending while in physical form's never been done in the history of the multiverse. That's why there's lots of off-planet interest to watch us, to see how we're going with it. And I want to tell you, we're doing really well with it. But yeah, be gentle, be forgiving, be compassionate with yourself. You are here at the leading edge of existence, doing something in your physical form that no one in the history of the multiverse has ever done before. Cut yourself some slack. Drinking so much water, sleeping like a baby. Thank you, Jen. Yes, that's what we all need to do, everyone. That's what we need to do. And Lee saying, feeling very heart-centered, beautiful, able to see deep truth amongst so much illusion, and awe of the opportunities being given to lead from my heart to witness love, to see beauty all around me. Oh, thank you, Lee. It's just beautiful. Really, really beautiful. So, yeah, take a leaf out of the energetic book of Lee Rowe, because that is what each of us is being invited to do, not necessarily in this moment, but over this, I want to say, this short period of time. So it's like, I was explaining to a client this morning, it feels like if we took a tennis ball and threw it into the air, that we're somewhere in that trajectory. So the ball hasn't landed, but the ball has left. We don't quite know where in the trajectory it is, but this is one way that I was sort of shown to describe this process of ascension that we're in. We're in it, we're amid it, and I'm not sure when we land, and it may be that, we land in a different, that we don't all land at once, is what I want to say. They might all land in at different times, but we are in it. And so that's one way of looking at it. And the other way of looking at it is, when we talk about all of this spiral here on the painting, we're talking about that being the helix. We're talking about that being the spiral of ascension. We're talking about that being ascension for us as human, for the planet as well. And so you could look at it like that, and it's almost like we're at the top end of it. I was saying to my friend Anna today, it's like we're at the top edge of the soft cone ice cream that gets squeezed out. It's a soft ice cream cone, and it's put in a swirl. It's like we're on the top of that. There's a whole lot of ways that we can describe, sorry, I've got a hair in my mouth, what is occurring, and we, like this, we're all at different stages of this, but we're all in it. And some of us, will get to that top part first, and others will follow. And the more people who get to the top of that, the easier it is for everybody else, the faster that others will be able to come in. So it's very exciting, and it's about sit in your heart, be gentle, be loving to yourself, and just I want to say, eat lightly, eat raw if you can, eat good quality raw organic fruit and vegetables if you can. And if you can't, don't give yourself a hard time, but perhaps invite your food to come up to frequency to match. Use your hand to energize and energize your food to a matching frequency. Be innovative. Don't drop into the despair of it. Be resourceful. Know that you are amazing and powerful beyond measure, and that you can do those things. And yeah, all this remarkable stuff around the dragons and around the Emerald Order, and around, too many things to mention here, but I will come back tomorrow and bring further updates. But yeah, hallelujah, we are lucky and blessed that we chose and were chosen, that we're strong enough and we are to be here, to be in this process, this physical ascension into our fifth dimensional form. Oh, Caroline. Yes. Look, just go gently with yourself. If you think about every single cell in your body has had a process as though it's been turned inside out, flushed out, reconfigured, and now it's being respun and it's going faster than it ever has. That's trillions of cells in your body. So it's not surprising, and it will just be that, like I said the other day, we can't all be going through the exact same thing at the exact same time because of that very thing. We're holding space when we're awake, so we can't be all in the same space at the same time. Fun squirrel. Yes, that is a great idea. Let's do that. So imagine that wherever you are in the world, on the planet, imagine that you have your right arm and your left arm stretched out to be holding hands with someone else who's here on the call or not. Maybe they will attend the call later. And imagine that there is this grid. So there is actually. So all of the pyramid activations have created a grid externally and some other shapes internally. So we can just be adding to that. So just imagine, just feel the energy in your fingers and in your hands. And imagine that there's the strength, the strengthening. We've got one another. and feel the energy moving into your left hand and out your right, and into the person next to you. And then I want you to imagine that there is energy coming from the planet into your heart space, through your body and out the back of your heart space, and then back into the planet. You might feel that coming in and up your feet, and up and into your feet, into your tailbone. You might be able to visualize a whole lot of torus occurring in your heart through your central vertical pillar in a vertical way, as well as across the heart, the rod and the staff. The staff being the feminine, the vertical, the rod being the horizontal across the heart, the masculine. This upgrade, this improvement in vision and in psychic vision. This knowing you are the master. You came here for purpose, and that's becoming clearer. You just place your hands on your heart now. Take a couple of breaths in honouring of yourself. And feel the feminine aspect of you. Just the right brain and the left body. Just feel into that for a moment. The softness, the love, beauty, flow, the surrender, the acceptance, the allowance, the creation. Creating up, conjuring up your new life, our new life. One of peace, of ease, of collaboration, of cooperation, of beauty, of magic, of gorgeous, new, high-dimensional plants and insects and light, of a utopian experience. Being in Alysium. Take care. Much love. We'll speak again soon.